Welcome to Boy Time Podcast. We're gonna get lit time, yeah. Oh, it's your boy Time Podcast. Coming in with the slam dunk of a theme song.
Hi ho ho, it's me, Hugh Neutron, back at it again with a new episode of the Boy Time Podcast, and as always, I'm joined by Babby and Paul.
Yay.
We're back. Although, I guess technically, I never left. I did do a bonus episode, if you are so inclined to listen to it. My first thoughts on the Doctor Strange squeakquel. I know everybody's been very antsy about what I thought about the film. So I decided, I'll let you guys know. I recorded myself right as I got home from the theaters, and then I recorded my thoughts, and then I uploaded it to our Spotify and YouTube and whatever. So if you want to listen to that, it's like 20 minutes long. It's kind of a rambling mess, but it was the first time I've ever done anything like that, so yeah. So I probably won't talk about Doctor Strange very long. We have a lot to get into. It's been 2 weeks after all. So, yes, Doctor Strange 2. More like Doctor Strange Poo.
Oh.
Get owned, Marvel fans. But
that's me.
I know. It's also me. I'm a very big Marvel stan. So, you know what? Let's just not talk about it. Let's talk about gaming.
Up for that.
Everybody loves gaming. We got some news about the hit Jeff Keighley production Summer Games Fest. It's actually just around the corner. It's June 9th, which I think we already knew. But they're doing something new. They're playing it in IMAX.
Oh.
So if you want to watch it in the theater, you can do that. I don't know why. I mean, I guess it could be kind of cool to see the trailers on the big screen if they're like super high quality. But I want to see the Twitch chat.
Yeah, the Twitch chat's the best part of those usually.
So I probably won't be. But I thought that's weird. It sounds like they're going to be doing that for the Game Awards too this year. So
Interesting.
I don't know. Jeff Keighley must have greased some hands at the AMC theater. He probably paid Nicole Kidman herself.
Yeah.
So, yeah, there you go, if you want to see it. In terms of actual gaming news, I think the biggest thing that happened this week, everybody is so sad. I am literally crying about this. But the hit Bethesda game Starfield has been delayed, dude.
Me.
This is so sad.
Nobody saw this coming.
I know. Todd Howard was like, we're very confident about this date. It will not change. And then it did. I don't know. Does Todd Howard have anything to do with this?
I don't know.
Does he still design games?
I have no idea what he does, honestly.
Okay. I would believe it if
It's fun.
He's just like the CEO / spokesperson, and I don't know.
Like the only developer with like a good stage presence.
Him and Joseph.
Yeah.
Those are the
Joseph's
only
just
two.
a treat.
Yeah, he's the best. Yeah, I can't even
Does this
think.
mean Elder Scrolls 6 is delayed?
I don't know.
I think it's different teams. So
Hopefully.
Yeah, I think.
I'd imagine it's different teams.
Well, they announced this, and then who just did Deathloop? Arcane. Their new game also got delayed, but not a lot of people were talking about that. That's like that vampire one. It's like Redfield. That's probably not it. I didn't write it down.
Starfield and Redfield.
Okay, yeah, it's probably not. Arcane vampire game.
Funnyfield.
Vampire Survivors. That's not it.
Vampire Diaries.
Right.
Oh, it's Redfall. That's it.
I prefer Redfield.
I prefer Redfield also. But yeah, that one, I think both of them were delayed until early 2023. A Redfall was supposed to come out in September, and then I think Starfield was supposed to come out in December. I don't remember. But that's what we have. We just have a release window and everybody is so sad. I I don't know. I don't really. I wasn't like really excited for it. I was probably gonna check it out eventually. But it is kind of funny that the people who made Fallout New Vegas made a space Fallout, and then Bethesda's like, actually, we're going to make a space Fallout now. So, yeah, I guess we'll see.
As they would.
They would. I don't know when they're gonna release any gameplay. I don't think we've seen anything from it yet. But maybe that's why it got delayed. So there's that. But we also got some Dune game announcements. What? I love Dune. I hope Timothée Chalamet is in the game.
I hope so.
This is from the makers of Dune Spice Wars, which is a game in early access right now on Steam. It's a Dune RTS. So if you want to play that, it's on Steam. But they're making another game, and it's a multiplayer survival Dune game. I don't know how that's going to go. But it's in early
forest
development.
and a desert.
That would be fun. And there's funny worms.
Yeah.
I just hope it's more like the like Dune movie by the new one than the old one, because it would be weird if it was like, Kyle MacLachlan. Just
That'd be great. Combine the two movies.
That would be fun. Yeah, there's that
Give me a
weird
cinematic
scene.
universe.
There's that scene in the new Dune where the bad guy, he like soaks himself in like a bath of oil and then he like floats out.
Yeah.
I think in the David Lynch one, he like inflates himself and he like flies around. It's a weird movie. Of the clips I've seen, it's very different. That's the reason that you're never gonna get a David Lynch Marvel movie.
That'd be so fun.
That would be the best Marvel movie ever, probably. And everyone would hate it, except for us, probably. Unless he sells out. Wouldn't that be funny if that's
Never.
a secret project?
That's his sellout. It's like he's been truly himself his whole career, except for this one Marvel movie.
Yeah. It's like, I don't have a new secret project at Cannes, but I am directing the Fantastic Four movie. Oh, that would be a treat.
That'd be great. I'd watch that Marvel movie.
I'd watch that too. So it's a little bit off topic, but you know what? It's fine. But we can talk about Marvel, Doctor Strange 2,
More
a little bit. I'm not going to talk about it a lot, but in case you didn't see the bonus episode, or if you did, I'll let you guys know how my opinion has changed. Because it has.
It hasn't.
It has a little bit. I think when I first saw the movie, I was about like net neutral. I just thought it was a completely average Marvel movie. Not a whole lot going to it, even though it is directed by Sam Raimi, who's one of my favorite directors. And it was just so bland. I actually think it's actually worse than I thought it was. Because I've been thinking back on like other Marvel movies I've seen that are pretty bland, and most of them are better than this one. Even the first Doctor Strange movie, which I was not a very big fan of, is probably better than this one, which is sad. You hate to see. Sam Raimi's been gone for 9 years. The only thing he's directed is the Ash to Evil Dead, or Ash versus the Evil Dead pilot in like, I don't remember when that was, like 2018, 2019. And then he comes back to directing, and then it's just like a really bad script. And so he doesn't, like, he can't do anything to save it. Our weekly Grant mention, I talked to him about it because he also saw it. And I don't think he put it on his Letterboxd, but if I were to guess, he would probably give it half a star. He absolutely hated it. I didn't think it was that bad. But, yeah, I don't know. Sam Raimi couldn't save it. I did watch Darkman since I did that bonus episode, and that movie's awesome. If you ever get the chance to see the film Darkman, I would highly recommend it. Even though it doesn't have Bruce Campbell in it, well, it does, but it's just like a little cameo. This one's like Liam Neeson, and he has fake skin that only doesn't melt in the dark. So he's like a spy guy, and he tries to kill a guy. It's pretty fun. It's the only superhero movie that's rated R
Ever.
ever.
R.
It's Blade wasn't even rated R. I don't remember. It probably is. And Deadpool, I guess. And Venom. But the only good thing to come out of this Sam Raimi Marvel debacle is that it sounds like that Sam Raimi is actually going to make a Darkman sequel. Hopefully. I don't know. It sounds like that it's in the works. It sounds like that Sam Raimi's been writing something, and he says, I'll only do it if Liam Neeson comes back. But Liam Neeson isn't doing anything, so he should come back. So hopefully this gets Sam Raimi back into directing. He's been producing for like the last 10 years. So please come back. And disregard the 2 Darkman sequels that actually happened that Liam Neeson was not in. It was the 90s. So yeah, there you go. There's updated Doctor Strange thoughts. It was not good. But let's talk about some good movies. We got some news about James Gunn's next project, Guardians of the Galaxy 3. It's done getting produced. Now we just have to wait for it to get edited. And then it's going to be the funniest movie ever. I'm going to laugh so hard when Drax dies.
Yeah, but then he's going to get back up, and then he's going to be like, oh, imagine if I died.
Imagine if I died. Yeah, I don't know. Dave Bautista once said, he's like, this is a nice swan song for the character. I'm like, why are you saying this, Dave Bautista?
Yeah, he's dead.
Yeah, he's probably dead. It's
Dave Bautista's never lied to me.
I don't get most of my news from Dave Bautista, so I don't know.
That's your first mistake.
I suppose. All of my news would just be, oh, is he in another like bad comedy? Yeah, he is. Is he in Fast and the Furious? No, not yet.
No, they already got Dwayne Johnson.
I remember Dave Bautista once said, like, someone asked him if he'd ever be in a Fast and the Furious movie, and he's like, no, I'm only in good movies. And then he was in Stuber.
Very true.
I thought it was really good.
You know what? Let me see what the Rotten Tomatoes score was for Stuber. 42.
Close
So
to
that's not the worst thing.
Not negative.
That's true. What was the last Fast and the Furious called? F9?
F9. I think so.
I don't think that's it. Only a fashion company is showing it. Oh, it's F9. How could I have been so silly? Oh,
What if it is the fashion company?
I wish it was. It's not.
Dang.
Okay, F9 got a 59%, so it did do better
Nice.
than Stuber. So my point still stands. I have not started watching them yet. I might, though.
Eventually.
Oh, and then in another twist of fate, Francis Ford Coppola is coming back. I thought he was dead, frankly.
CGI.
I don't know how you CGI a director back into living. But he's making a new movie. I don't think we know what it's about, but Adam Driver's leading. And I do love Adam Driver.
Good.
I love Adam Driver. It also has Lawrence Fishburne, you would know as Morpheus from the Matrix film. Morbius. I wish they got Morbius. Well, actually, I don't want Jared Leto in this movie. They got Forrest Whitaker. They got Natalie Emmanuel from Game of Thrones. and John Voight are gonna be in this movie.
Voight.
We don't know what it's about, but I'll probably see it. I don't know. Coppola's like 1 for 2 right now. I really love Godfather, but I did not like Apocalypse Now. So, but that's a hot take because a lot of people really like that movie. And Lawrence Fishburne is in that too. He's like a little baby. But that's it for movie news. I did watch a lot of movies this week. While Babby was gone, I watched a movie every single night.
Wow.
I know. It's kind of crazy.
What a
But-
guy.
Wow.
But because of that, I'm not going to be able to talk about them all. I will give a very quick rundown of what I watched and what I thought about it. First thing I watched was Boogie Nights by Paul Thomas Anderson. It's a movie about Mark Wahlberg, who is his name is Dirk Diggler.
No way I didn't come up with that name.
He's a porn star in the 70s.
Ah, of
Makes
course.
sense.
Yeah. It's all about like his rise and fall in the porn industry in the 70s. And I gotta say, I thought the movie was pretty good. I thought it was really good. It was probably Mark Wahlberg's best performance. He's only gotten worse since this thing. And I'm pretty sure he's like maybe in his early 20s. He plays a 17-year-old in the very beginning, and I believe it. So he's got to be pretty young. But at the very end, you see his penis, and I refuse to believe that that's his penis. It's like, I feel like it's like comically big, and I'm like, there's no way. There's no way.
Yeah,
that
it didn't
Mark
post.
Wahlberg. I guess I could look it up, but I'm going to refuse the answer if it says.
I don't want to know.
Yeah.
But you gotta know.
Let me see.
There you go. Make sure you use incognito.
It's a prosthetic. I
We
was
did it.
right. It's
Correct
not his
case.
real dick. This is epic.
Dang.
I'd recommend the movie. It's funny though, because they like tease like seeing his dick throughout the whole thing. Like he shows it to everybody, but you never see it on camera. And then the movie ends and he's just like looking in a mirror and then he pulls his dick out and he's just like, "You're a star. You're a star, Dirk Diggler." And he just like dips. Yeah. It's a weird end to the movie, especially since there's like full frontal female nudity throughout. It's just like you never see his though until the very end. But it was the 90s, and it is kind of weird that Paul Thomas Anderson made this when he was 21. It's not weird. It's wickedly impressive. So I saw that.
Wickedly.
I saw Fantastic Planet. Baby, have you heard of Fantastic Planet?
Heard the name.
It's that weird French animated movie with blue aliens in it.
Oh yeah, no.
Yeah. I figured you would have heard about it, Mr. Art School. But
I think I've even seen that, although I don't remember it.
it's very short. It's only 70 minutes. But I got the allegory like right away. And it kept going for the whole 70 minutes. It's just like humans are like pets to these big aliens, and they like treat the humans like pets. And I'm like, I get it. This is what humans do to animals.
Okay, wrong movie then.
No,
The
probably
movie looks very scary, but like very nice at the same time.
it's the animation's like really cool.
Mm-hmm.
I would recommend it, but it wasn't like my favorite thing that I watched this week. I just watched it because it was really short. I think the next one is actually my favorite one, and that is Ed Wood. Have you guys heard of Ed Wood?
Nope.
No.
Okay. It's probably Tim Burton's best movie, and it has Johnny Depp, and he plays a cross-dressing director from the 1950s who is regarded as one of the worst directors of all time.
Perfect.
I know. He made the hit film Plan 9 from Outer Space, which we have not seen yet. I have heard about it. It is one of those that is infamously bad. But we don't usually watch movies that are that old because it is like from the 50s. But the movie is very, very good. It's all about this. He's like this down and out writer director. Nobody wants to produce any of his movies because they all suck, and he's like the worst director. He just like gets one shot and then like it's like, print it, it's perfect, and like the people around him like, actually this and this were wrong, and he's like, nobody's gonna notice, you stupid idiot, it's about the big picture, I'm a filmmaker. And then he's just dumb. But it was very, very fun. It was a very good movie. And apparently this director also met, what's his face? The guy who played Dracula in the 20s.
Jared Leto.
I wish. Why can't I think of his name? It's the frickin'... It's a Dracula 20s guy. Bela Lugosi. Yeah, he met this guy when he was like a morphine addict, and he was like, "Can you be in some of my bad movies?" And Bela Lugosi's like, "Yes, of course, I will be in your movies." He was Hungarian, and it's very fun. It's a good movie. It's probably Tim Burton's best. It might be Johnny Depp's best, even though I have a soft spot for Pirates of the Caribbean 4.
He is a perfect pirate.
He is. I think my second favorite movie that I watched was Juno, starring Michael Cera and Elliot Page. I don't know. It's just a good movie. Jason Bateman is in it also, but he doesn't play Michael Cera's dad, so I'm a little bit disappointed.
Dang it.
That would have been perfect.
That would have been interesting.
I gotta say, Michael Cera is on the poster of this thing, and he's like barely in it. It mostly follows Elliot Page being pregnant and then delivering the baby and the ups and downs of that, and like finding the adoptive parents and whatever. But it does end with some Michael Cera playing the guitar, which will transition perfectly to when eventually we'll be listening to the Michael Cera album on the Boy Time
A long
channel.
time from now.
Eventually. It's called True That, I believe. So
True that.
if you ever want to check out the Michael Cera album, there's a good song on it, and it's 18 songs long.
It's a good ratio.
It is. And then the last thing I watched was Darkman, and I already talked about that. So that was my exciting week of film.
Great.
My last little thing that we're going to do before we go into music, because I know we have a lot to talk about.
I have a lot.
One of my favorite television programs just got renewed for season 3, and it's I Think You Should Leave with Tim Robinson. That's the show that Bob Odenkirk was in, where he says, "I want the doubles, I want the triples of the car."
That was great.
That's how I know that. This is how me and your dad know that the ice cream stores are closed. It's probably one of the funniest sketch shows ever. It's even better than Mad TV.
SNL.
Well, it is better than
No
SNL. Tim Robinson was in one season of SNL, and then they fired him because nobody thought he was funny. And then
he was too good.
Yeah, nobody on SNL thought that this insanely funny guy was funny.
Yeah.
So then he made his own show, and it's one of the best.
Usually SNL writers just graduate into making good content.
Right.
The point where they're too good, and then they kick them off.
Yeah, like John Mulaney or Bob Odenkirk, Conan O'Brien, like all of the good writers.
That's a good track record.
It's a good track record. But I think Tim Robinson was on it. I don't know if he wrote for it. He was just like, I think it was like 2017 when like a bunch of the like standard people were left, or like people who had been on for a really long time left. Mm-hmm. So then like the guy, why can't I think of the guy who did SNL? Like that should be the most obvious name. SNL creator. Lorne Michaels. Yeah. So Lorne Michaels just hired like 7 people just to see what stuck, and Tim Robinson was one of them, but nobody liked him. And then here we are now. It's one of my favorite shows. It's great. Tim Heidecker's been on it. I think Eric has been on it, and Bob Odenkirk. So that's a pretty good track record. 3 of my favorite comedians. I just hope they get Dave Chappelle on. It would be hilarious. Tim Robinson's like, "What are you doing, Dave?" And he's like, "Hey, I hate transgenders." And then Tim Robinson would somehow make it funny. Maybe. Probably not. I don't think they would do a sketch about that.
Not
Yeah,
for a
no.
couple years.
No.
Yeah, for a couple.
You gotta let it sit.
Yeah. I want Dave Chappelle to come back with an hour-long special and he just says, "I'm sorry," just over and over and over again.
Never happened.
I know. He's going on his Joker arc right now.
Yeah, he's in the Joker reunion tour right now.
Oh, what's he in? Is he in something?
No, just,
Oh.
you know,
Everybody's been doing their Joker
yeah.
arc.
He's just joining the party of Joker arcs.
Yeah. I saw that he like went to his town's like city hall and he was like, "Don't get affordable housing in my town. I don't like poor people. I will pull my studio's funding from this town if you do it." And so then they didn't do it. It's like, what are you doing, Dave?
David.
David. But that's all I have. I was just excited about I Think You Should Leave. It's probably going to come out next year. So I'll talk about it then. But let's talk about music because we have a lot to talk about.
Ooh.
There's a couple things to talk about.
Just a few.
I do want to talk about Kendrick because I don't think our first reaction did any justice to anything.
Well, it's hard to get a first
It
reaction.
is, yeah.
to
I
something
expected
like
that. But we'll talk about that like at the end since that'll be a
That'll
chunk of
probably,
time,
yeah.
probably. But it's been 2 weeks.
Yeah. It has.
I'll go chronologically, I guess.
Okay.
I guess that leaves Black Star first. New Black Star, no Fear of Time. The most annoying release of the year because it is very good and it's super difficult to listen to. Because I'm not
Yes.
paying for your podcast streaming app that isn't meant for music.
You coward?
You cowards. Please make a Bandcamp or like a website so you get all your proceeds or whatever you want to do.
Just make it
Nobody wants to
physical.
buy your album from a podcasting website.
Nope. I still haven't
On a
listened to it.
subscription base.
I need
Yeah.
to listen to it. I'll find an illegal video.
I mean, at least make it a one-time fee so I can just pay for the album and download it. Like, if you're on a subscription service, you need to pay $5 every month to listen to it.
Yeah,
It's stupid.
I'm not a fan.
Not a fan at all of that. And I get the reasoning, but at the same time, it's like, I don't get it because there's so many other ways to do it.
Right.
So, I love both of these artists, but like, come on. I feel like you're not doing, I feel like you're putting up this shtick just to be like, yeah, this is why it's on this podcasting app.
Yeah. I don't know. Do they have like stake in the company? Does Talib?
They do with Chappelle, I believe. I think they
Oh,
both
okay.
own parts of it. So I guess that's where more of their revenue comes from, but like still, I mean, I don't like it.
Yeah. I don't know
Music
any.
though,
Yeah, I
actual
don't know.
album.
It's apparently good.
It is very good. I really like it. I think people are mixed on it because they expected Old Black Star, which is stupid because this came 25 years after the first one.
Yeah.
But it's a Mad Lib project, so you get the Mad Lib isms where it's super spacey. Songs flow into each other. Just fantastic production. It's Mad Lib, so it's quirky. It's off the wall.
Yeah.
And that matches like with both their flows, I think. I will say Talib, kind of, I wasn't too impressed on a couple tracks for him.
Really?
He kind of felt like I don't want to say Eminem because it wasn't like cringe bad, but in a way where he kind of pulled a Logic where he did like a whole bunch of like big words that rhyme but add up to not a lot in the end.
Okay.
You know, like those words where they got 5 syllables, and you'll do that.
Yeah,
Like
the
rhyme that with
spiritual,
that.
lyrical
Yeah,
individual.
exactly.
Yeah.
He did that on the first record, but like I think in that first reaction, like I was praising Talib because he was doing that, but everything he was saying in between was like monumental.
Yeah.
And it was just mind blowing how much he fit into a verse. This one, he's just kind of spitting words at you, and they don't hit as much. There's a couple tracks where he takes the cake and he really has fantastic verses, but they're kind of few and far between.
No.
Yazan Bey, on the other hand, like
Oh, he
people
goes
were kind
off?
of complaining that like he was like too laid back, but personally, I love that style. And when he's just spitting bars, like fantastic verse after verse after verse for the whole thing, it really meshes with Madlib too, because he's in that point where he's doing the sing songy stuff with rapping, and he has like a
Oh.
very nice voice for
He
it.
does. Yeah.
So he's just floating on the whole thing.
Okay.
But the whole thing is, I think it's meant to be listened as an album. I can't see. Well, I've never experienced just listening to the singles because I can't. But the whole album experience is very smooth. I think like the best track, I think, is Frequency with Black Thought. This used to be a different song. This is a leak I heard, and I didn't like the leak. The mixing was really bad. The verses didn't seem like they had any chemistry. I mean, Black Thought's verse was the same, but everything else was different. But I think Frequency is like the best track here. It's 7 minutes long. Uses up that whole time. It's next level. I think the main thing is to keep the main thing. The main thing is also fantastic.
That's one song.
That is one song title. There's also track 3, Sweetheart, Sweetheart, Sweetheart. I don't know what that is.
Oh, okay.
But that's a name. But
That is a
I don't know. This is a very chill, like laid back record, which I think is good for like a comeback because people are expecting a lot. So why not just give them this like super spacey landscape?
Sure.
Kind of just chill out too. But like, I mean, the beats still hit hard, so it's just a head nod of 33 minutes that is just really enjoyable.
Yeah, that sounds good.
I'd put it pretty high up on rap albums this year. I think
Oh.
it's a very good album.
that's
Mainly because I think I was able to keep expectations at bay,
Sure.
knowing that that's been so long and like it's impossible to combat the first one because that literally changed the game.
Yeah, that's a near perfect record.
Yeah. So I think this one is like, okay, they're in a much different place than they have been. I don't think they're going to make some grand statement at all. And it's not. It's just laid back. Like, here's a connection, like a bridge from what used to be the style to now. And I think getting Madlib is good because Madlib is that signal of like the underground hip hop. Like he is that guy that rises above. So I think it's a good match. But very good record. I hope eventually it comes out physical or streaming or something.
Yeah.
Even if it's a year or two from now. Like, please.
Do you think that this is do you think that they're back to making music or is this a one-time
No.
thing?
I think this is a one-time thing.
Okay.
Mainly because Talib wasn't top notch. He was good, but I felt like he didn't have a lot to say besides a few tracks, and then other tracks he just kind of filled space. I feel like Mos Def is that person who could pull something out.
Yeah.
Because he had a lot to say here, and he stretched it across the whole record. But I don't know. I would like to see something from him again. But I mean, I feel like this is just a really nice record
Sure.
to have. Like, it's
Yeah.
not like it's going to be some heavy hitter or anything. It's just, it feels like a hip hop hidden gem
Yeah.
because it's so exclusive, and it's short, it's sweet, it's great. So it feels like one's just, it's gonna like pass under everybody's radar, but like one day you'll remember it, and then you'll like look it up and listen to it, and it'll be good. So
Yeah. Yeah. I'll probably check it out eventually. I think nobody's gonna be talking about it long term because of this release.
yeah, they've already stopped talking about it. It came out on the 3rd, and by the end of that week, nobody was talking about it.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's unfortunate. It's a terrible release, like
It
the
is.
worst release of the year in terms of marketing and just like physically releasing it to platforms.
Is this better or worse than Donda 2?
This is
That's tough.
It is tough because both are like really stupid. With this one, when you pay the money, you get a confirmed body of work that is 100% complete and really fantastic. With the stem player, you order a $200 device with an album that has verses that aren't done yet, a track listing that makes 0 cents, and some tracks without Kanye even on them.
Oh,
But you get a cool device that you can load songs onto and like mess with,
that is kind of cool.
which is cool. I don't know. I feel like the Donda 2 was worse.
Okay. Yeah.
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 'Cause at least people hold Black Star in high regard because the album's good.
Yeah.
The Donda 2, it's a mess. It just screams lawsuit.
Yeah.
This one's just annoying behind a paywall. But
Both aren't good. Let's just.
yeah, from a marketing perspective, both aren't good.
Okay, what's next?
What's next? We got a new Black Midi single,
Oh yeah, I saw that.
Welcome to Hell, new album, July 15th, I believe. I
Okay.
did not expect them to be dropping so soon, but I am ready.
Did Cavalcade come out last year or 2020?
It did. Yeah.
Okay.
Schlagenheim was 2019, Cavalcade was 21, and then this one will be 22. So
Oh, okay.
it kind of has like the same vibe as Cavalcade, so I'm wondering if it's a part 2, which I'm definitely okay with. But this one's weird. There's a lot of weird moments to it. It's typical Black Midi where it's just off the wall and insane. But I think the groove is great. There's a lot of cool switch ups on it. It gets loud and insane towards the end, which I always like. Yeah, very good. I'm ready for this record. I did not know it was coming this soon, but I'm always ready for more Black Midi because I feel like they're in a stride right now where they can't miss.
Do you think that Love Story is gonna be on this one?
I hope so. Yeah, their Caval covers EP.
Yeah.
Their 21st Century Schizoid Man cover is pretty good, actually. I feel like it's hard to match King Crimson's like level on that song because I do think that song's like one of the best songs ever made.
Yeah.
But
Love Story
yeah,
is so weird.
Love Story is very weird.
The Taylor Swift Black Midi cover is not, I think, something that needed to exist.
That's what I love about Black Minis. They're literally like Zoomers that meme all day, but like
Yeah.
make some of the most influential rock music. So they just put something like that out, and then it's just like it's weird.
It is pretty fun.
It is fun. I'm glad they did it because like who else is doing that?
Nobody.
Nobody, because nobody would be crazy enough to cover Taylor Swift in an experimental rock group, but whatever.
Yeah.
So yeah, looking forward to that one. My Chemical Romance dropped
Oh yeah.
out of nowhere on Thursday afternoon.
Oh really?
Everybody was so ready for Kendrick. We were all waiting, and then all of a sudden, My Chemical Romance just came out of nowhere with a song that's 6 minutes long. I think this is their first song since like 2014 or something. I
Really?
have to check. Yeah,
Haven't heard that name in years.
No.
exactly.
Now is this a lead up to an album?
I don't know. It sounds like it is.
Okay.
I could be wrong, but oh yeah, their last song was from 2013.
Okay.
9 years. That's crazy. Okay. But yeah, this one's like 6 minutes long. I like it. It's not like the typical My Chemical Romance like meme where it's just like too emo and angsty. It sounds like some grown up emo rock, if that makes sense. There's a really cool progression throughout it. It's kind of like a more drawn out Black Parade song. But I mess with it. It's nothing crazy, and it's not something I'm going to return to a lot, but it's cool.
Okay.
I am interested to see if this turns into something because like that would be cool.
That would be fun.
Maybe they did this when they've been trying to do the reunion tour for 3 years and they get canceled every time because of COVID. Maybe they're just like, let's just sit in the studio and make something.
Yeah. Yeah, that's fair.
Because I mean, you got all the guys together. I don't know what their relationships are with each other at this point, but
Yeah, I don't know.
I mean, it must be decent enough to come up with one song at least.
True.
So,
Yeah.
I don't know. This could turn into something. I'd welcome it. I think that could be cool.
I'd be happy about MCR coming back. That could be good.
I feel like this is a good return to form because Danger Days was like this weird pop punk twist. More emphasis on like less guitars and more like really weird, like more mainstream sounds for 2013. Some more dancey type stuff almost. That came over a little weird, but I don't know. This could be cool.
Okay.
We'll see. Post Malone dropped also Thursday, I think.
This is
right?
true. Yeah, Thursday at noon.
Everybody's just dodging.
They were dodging Kendrick. Yeah.
Yeah. Cooped Up with Roddy Ricch. First single from his new album coming out
June
17th.
3rd.
June 3rd.
June 3rd. Yeah.
That's coming up soon.
It sure is.
Not bad. I don't like Roddy Ricch on it.
I don't like Roddy
Ricch.
Ricch.
Roddy Ricch just did the exact same thing as Post Malone, but did it like less convincingly.
Worse.
It sounds like you phoned it in, which is
Yeah.
weird because Post has been hyping up this feature, and it's just the most bland feature I've heard from Roddy Ricch. And he's
Yeah.
done a lot. I don't know what's happening with Roddy Ricch. He's on a decline.
I don't know. He made one good song. And then
I mean,
now
that
he's
whole
just-
album's pretty decent, and then like his next album, everybody literally forgot about and didn't play. Like that came out, I think, the beginning of this year. 0 people were talking about it. It just was dead on arrival.
Poor Roddy Ricch.
It was boring.
Yeah.
But
Man, this
I
is
don't know what's up with
18
that.
songs long. What the frick?
Yeah.
Bloated. BB's interlude. That's awesome.
Didn't he get like I think he got like a Stevie Wonder feature or something? Or there was someone on there that was like,
Jamie Foxx.
yeah, Jamie Foxx, and then he didn't have him sing at all. It was just an interlude track, like a voicemail.
Yeah, that's lame.
I'm like, come on,
Yeah.
have him on a track.
As the resident Post Malone stan, I thought the song was pretty good. I have to turn it off every time Roddy Ricch comes on. He's
Yeah, I like the aesthetic of the track. It felt a lot more natural for him.
yeah. But I feel like I need to bring this up on the podcast. When he did the listening thing on Instagram Live, this was my least favorite song that he played that time. So it's only uphill from here, in my opinion.
Good.
I remember liking the song, and then as soon as Roddy Ricch was on, I'm like, oh, this sucks.
He just killed all momentum. 'Cause it took him like 3 bars to get going, and then once he gets going, it's not interesting.
Yeah. Like, oh man, that's so disappointing.
Yeah.
But you know,
As of now, we have that one, and then we have the song with the weekend that are confirmed for that.
is that one gonna be on?
It is on there. Yeah.
Okay. That makes
I
sense.
forgot it existed, but
Yeah.
it's fine. But we'll see what's going on with that. I do think it'll probably be better in Hollywood's Bleeding, just because
I
the
think
sonic
so.
ballad he's done for these last 2 songs is more interesting. I'm still not sold yet, but it seems like it's in the right direction.
No, I mean, definitely from the stuff he was playing, it seemed more beer bongs than Hollywood's Bleeding, which I think is what we both want. Like, I'm not.
Yeah, I go to Post
interested.
Malone for the fun, like pop rap.
Yeah.
bangers,
Yeah.
which it's hard to get pop rap that isn't either 1 cringy or 2 like too generic.
Yeah.
I think Beer Bongs is an excellent example of just like a very, very good pop rap album.
It's fun. There isn't like
it's very
anything,
fun.
you know, you're not going to be digging through the lyrics. Like, it's not
No.
anything that's going to change the world, but it's just
No, but
fun music.
Production's great. It's just really fun.
Yeah.
So I think he's going to get deeper on this record. I think he was doing that on Hollywood's Bleeding a little bit. I think
Little bit.
at this point he'll have refined that, I would hope. I don't
I
know
mean-
what else he'd be doing.
I mean, the song Hollywood's Bleeding is actually pretty good.
Yeah.
But then
It's just one
after
of those
that-
things where people try to make concepts and then they do the first track that has this big overture of like, here's the concept, and then they just forget about the concept immediately.
Yeah, it's like you're literally transitioning from a song that's like calling out all of the hypocrisies in LA and Hollywood, and then the next song is Saint Tropez, which is all about how he is a millionaire and makes lots of money and spends it in Saint Tropez.
Yeah.
It's like, okay.
I get what he was trying to do. He was trying to show by example, but like he forgot about the concept like halfway through, and then it just
Yeah.
comes off as weird.
Yeah.
But
So
we'll
I
see.
guess,
what happens
yeah,
with that.
we'll see.
I guess also that dropped this week. The Smile New album.
Was that on the same day as Kendrick?
That was on the same day as Kendrick.
Oh, okay.
And that is a little unfortunate because this record is really good. It's like the exact opposite of Kendrick.
Well, that's
This is very easy listening.
really.
Very. And that's a good thing. Like, Tom York gets crazy experimental in his solo work because he does more EDM, IDM stuff. And Radiohead's side projects are kind of either way out there or just eh. But this one, like, I think adding Tom Skinner as the drummer and just having this three piece like really works. This sounds like a King of Limbs, but done right, like what they were trying to do with that record. Because that record is, there's a lot of like weird time signatures. Everything's a little off, a little mysterious, but also like very, very pretty in the second half. But like it comes across awkward for the first half of that record. This record, it's like they finally figured out how to do that. But I don't know. This sounds like the biggest, like most grand thing ever, and it's three people. Like there's string arrangements that sound like a whole orchestra, and it's literally just three people. But the drummer's amazing. I know he works on like with like Sons of Kemet, which is like an insane jazz fusion group. That's really cool. So I think having him like really hold it down helped a lot. But I don't know. This album's gorgeous. Like it's like a meditation record almost. Like Radiohead projects are usually very depressing. Even though they can be very pretty, it's like depressingly pretty.
Yeah.
This one's just like it sounds like the album cover. It's just like this weird blossoming, like eerie, beautiful, like slow burn of a record. Yeah, it's one to just chill out, turn out the lights, and just like vibe to it. It's really great. And it dropped the same day as Kendrick, which is a little unfortunate, but like I think people get to it eventually.
I mean, I don't know how much crossover there
I think
is.
people will check out both just because Tom York's involved.
Yeah.
This is basically Radiohead. Like, it's Radiohead with a jazz drummer, which I will take.
Yeah.
Right now. Like, it really builds on like King of Limbs and Moonshaped Pool. I think Moonshaped Pool is like the best Radiohead record in my opinion, just because of the atmosphere there. And then this record does that also very well. I haven't listened to it enough yet to like really form on where I would like put it in terms of like their other work, Tom's solo work and Radiohead as a whole. But I don't know. This was a very, very good project. I don't know what they're doing next, if they're going to continue with this thing or if they're going back to Radiohead music. So it feels like Radiohead music only happens when they have enough ideas to come together and make something. Except that this record recycled a lot of old Radiohead songs that never got used. So I'm wondering what the next step is here, but this record's very good.
Okay, well that's good. I like the album cover.
It's very pretty.
Yeah.
I was worried with the single artwork because like I felt
Yeah,
like Stanley lost his mind a little bit.
Single artwork
but
definitely missing.
They brought it back. Yeah, but this album cover is like one of the best of the year now. So
Yeah, I'm a big fan.
it's just very cool to look at. And it sounds exactly like the music does. It's like complicated, but at the same time, it's very pretty and like calming to look at. But I love that every song's like over 4 minutes too, or mostly every song's over 4 minutes. It's just the builds and everything are really, really great. Yeah, check that out for sure. Don't let it go unnoticed. It's one of the best records of this year. They also have a little bit of King Gizzard influence in here, I noticed, which is cool.
Oh,
It's like,
that's fun.
kind of a nod there. It's cool to see Radiohead influenced by King Gizzard, the new guard. But yeah, very, very nice. I need to listen to it more. I still feel like there's a lot to get brought out of this thing.
Well, it's only been a couple days.
It's only been a couple days, which is weird. It feels like it's been like forever since the music this week dropped, but we'll get into that later.
Yeah.
I do want to talk about, let's see. So I finished Godspeed. We had that one record from 2021. I listened to that one like 2 weeks ago. Very good. I would put this, I separate them from like their first three to like the rest of their catalog. I think out of like the second half of their catalog, I think this one is probably second best. I think Alleluia is probably the best, but this one is second, and then this Fairy Towers. pretty good. It's a very different sounding record from them. There's a lot of like static and radio transmissions. Like the song titles have like radio like kilohertz stuff in them, which is weird. But they use that a lot. But very good record. The drone on here is awesome. It looks like a regular album track listing. There's 8 songs, so that's cool. They don't do that usually.
No.
I did get Luciferian Towers in vinyl, and it does just list the 4 songs instead of the parts. So it looks more like a traditional Godspeed record when you have it physically.
Oh, good.
But I don't know. This one's really good. This was like last year too, and I keep forgetting that as early as last year they dropped something. So they might do something else eventually in the future, which is fun to think about.
Yeah.
But that's their whole discography. I think they have that one hidden album, but I might pay for that and listen to it. But I heard it isn't very good because it's literally like demos from '93.
Oh,
And their first album didn't come out until like '95. So
I see.
probably not that good.
No, probably not.
But with that, I graduated from Godspeed. I don't know if I might make a video just highlighting everything if I never feel up to it.
Okay.
I might make like a tier list or something to give an excuse to talk about every record, like with full thoughts. But very good discography, like one of my favorite bands now. But it was very cool to dive into, and I feel like it's as weird and like off-putting as a lot of their music can be. I think it's a good introduction to post-rock. Now I'm more like confident in the genre. There's not as many like secrets to like, okay, what is this genre all about? I kind of got it now. So what does one do after that? They dive headfirst into Swans and get traumatized.
Oh.
Yeah, I picked up To Be Kind again. I've only done the first half of that record because I really want to drill in the first half before I get to the second because I'm going to get like too much of an overload.
Yeah.
But To Be Kind, side A, is incredible. I'm getting it now. It makes a lot more sense. I just have to be very patient and ready for it before just jumping in, like not knowing anything. But the whole thing is just like this super big, like slow burn of a distorted, disturbed, like terrifying record. All of that just like slowly builds into like a 34-minute track that just has an insane crescendo with like yelled vocals. It's like Swans has a very primal sound to them. It like taps into something different that no other music really does. It's a very primal experience, which can be a little scary if you're not in it. Please be sober when you're listening to any Swans stuff, because that might be that's a bad trip if you're not. That's all I'm gonna say. It's a very bad trip. But yeah, it's weird because I don't want to call this music enjoyable, but it's not. But like, this was a very, very cool experience for the first side. It is really fantastic, but I think taking it one disc at a time is the way to do it. I do need to get to disc 2 of it, but I'll do that eventually. But I did soundtracks for the blind on my way to vacation. I had a very fun 14-hour car trip between listening to soundtracks for the blind, which is 2.5 hours, and watching the last 3 seasons of BoJack. So I was in a very good headspace in the car.
Why? Why would you do that to yourself?
I don't know why I decided that was like my course of action. But, I'm a changed person in many ways now.
I'm sure.
Yeah. So yeah, I put on soundtracks for the blind in the car at like 7 a.m. I was sleeping and then just woke up. I'm like, yeah, this is probably a good time to put on this album. That's not a good idea, but I did it. So I was like not quite awake while listening to this the first time, so I was kind of dozing in and out. And this thing is like, this is unlike anything you can ever experience throughout music. Like, all album experiences don't quite hit the same as this one. There's such an aura to this record. Like, it sounds like a haunted album. Like, this is something that like you just find and you don't know what it is. It's 2.5 hours. It's just this long thing. Even the cover is very eerie because it seems like so open, and you don't know what you're getting, but there's like some weird aura to it, and the whole album's like that. The thing's so long it has 2 opening tracks.
Oh.
It's got 2 intros. The first intro is like a drone. The second intro is like building into something, and then like ends with some like FBI interrogation footage where they're just ripping into like some guy spying on them, and then like the album starts on track 3. So it's like the weird structure. It's terrifying to listen to. Helpless Child is an insane track. These lyrics are like demented and tortured. I didn't pick them up the first time, but second listen around, I'm like, oh, this is like, ouch. Like that's that's not nice lyrics at all. Helpless Child's about like being the perspective of a fetus and a mother that's like taking drugs and alcohol. In this 15-minute like torment of a song. Yeah, this whole thing is just haunted.
minutes.
Yeah. So the 2.5 hours of that were, I wouldn't say enjoyable, but they were definitely eye-opening. This is one that you need to listen to more and more to even form an opinion on, because I went through the whole experience and I'm like, okay, that was unlike anything I've done or like heard. But then you look back at it and I'm like, I don't remember which song is which. It's all a blur, but I know what I just went through. So
And
that
then
means
you
more
watched
listens.
BoJack.
And then I watched BoJack, which was great. I forgot how good that show was, but also how devastating that show
Oh
is.
man, yeah. I feel like I should go back and rewatch it, but
It's so
I
good.
can't. I can't.
You pick up on so many things the second time too, and I'm like, wow, that's actually picking up on more things just makes it a bigger gut punch. But like, you know,
Man, I can't with their daughter. That I did you
yeah,
skip that
I
episode?
skipped it. I started at season 3
Okay, that's at the
because
end of
I'm like,
season
I can't go
2.
through that again. I know at least that.
Oh man,
But
that's one of the worst I've ever felt.
yeah,
After that,
yeah. But I
Ugh.
mean, there was this weird thing where like the whole like dimension or dementia arc in that show, like the best way to describe soundtracks for the blind is that episode. Like I think it's Time Zero, where things like are just this weird like dementia infused like teleporting through time in this very demented, like tortured episode. That's basically what this album is. It's terrifying, but I mean, people put this as the best album ever created. I can definitely see it. I need to listen to it more though. But like, this is one that you don't just listen to over and over again.
No.
It hurts you constantly. But my Swan's journey is going to be a lot longer and a lot more drawn out because you can't intake more of these albums like at a fast rate. Godspeed clicked right away. This is like challenging art. It makes you like, it actually makes you want to turn it off, but like at the same time you can't press pause. It's not inviting, but at the same time there's some weird thing that just keeps you listening. So I don't get it, but like
I don't get it. I don't know what you're
so
doing to yourself.
it's so good, but like in a way that's like you don't want to put it. It's so good because it's not enjoyable. It's weird. I think that's everything besides the main man.
Besides the one thing that we
The
need
one
to talk
thing that
about.
happened.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mr. Morale and the Big Steppers is out.
What?
It's out.
It's out now?
It is 18 songs and an hour and 13. It is a double album.
That's crazy.
We'll have our first reaction up this week. It's in 2 parts. So
Oh, it's a two-parter.
yeah, I mean each part's like 30 minutes,
Okay.
which isn't bad. I could have made it one, but I mean, might as well. I might add editor's notes because as I was going through, I'm like, man, you were a dumb idiot. Why did you say that? So I might
Are
have
you
to plug
talking
in
about me or yourself?
myself.
Okay.
Yeah, because I think I've listened to the whole thing 5 times now,
Oh, okay.
which is why it's weird that it came out yesterday, technically, at the time of recording. But I've listened to it 5 times,
Okay.
the whole hour and 13. But yeah, the first reaction was weird because I wanted something different from him, and I wanted him to challenge me, and then he did it, and I wasn't ready for it. 'Cause
Yeah.
I'm stupid. But I think that was everybody's reaction.
Yeah,
like-
I think you do kind of have to get over your expectations.
Yes.
Because I think even though his last 3 projects have been, they've been like sonically consistent within each other, they're very different from each other, I would say. but like not to the degree that this one is different from those three. Because there isn't really a whole lot of like sonic cohesion. Like each song was like a complete left turn out of nowhere,
Yeah.
it seemed, especially on that first listen.
Yeah. Now everything blends together more. But like, yeah, the first listen's like, wow. Uh, it was like, how do I respond to this? What do I say? I think we were when I was editing the footage. It was like, wow, we're both like not knowing what to say, but like we're enjoying it, but we don't know why.
Yeah.
It was like open. It was like leaving the door open to like thoughts later. So I'll probably plug in editor's notes. I don't know.
That's probably smart.
Yeah.
I haven't listened to it as much as you have. I've listened to 3/4 of it again.
Okay.
Because yesterday I was so G dang tired after that reaction. And then I had to get up early for something else. So then it was just like, oh, I had like 7 or 6 hours of sleep. And I was like, I can't get into this again. Like, I do not have the mental fortitude to listen
I'm
to this
built for
record.
this.
So then today I listened to about all of it through Anti Diaries, and then we hopped on to watch Ozark. So I have not listened to all of it again, but I did enjoy it significantly more the second
Yeah.
time than I did the
I
first
think
time.
that's most people's reaction. Which my philosophy going into it before the album came out is people are gonna call it mid because it's different. I knew this before like any snippet of any song or anything came out for this. Like the way the landscape is nowadays is things get forgotten
Yeah.
and brushed off immediately. With Kendrick, it is still a little different, but I felt very weird. I think the reaction community as a whole did a good job. There was a couple videos out there where it's like, okay, calm down, like, because you need to sit with this, especially this one. This is his most dense record, even though it's not. I wouldn't say it's lyrically his most dense because T-Pab is infinitely dense in lyrics and storyline. But this one is dense in the fact that it's 18 songs. Every song is different.
Yeah.
It's a double album, so it's like, how do you interpret what he's trying to get through? Is he separating each disc? Is there a narrative? Is there all of this? There's way too many things.
Yes.
But it's weird to praise it immediately through first listen, and it's weird to dismiss it immediately after the first listen. So I think we did a very good job at like
We
taking what was in
yeah.
front of us and reacting to that and only that. But every
Yes.
listen of this thing has gotten so much better. I don't know what's happening. Like this happened with Damn, but not to this degree. Like Damn had a capping point
Yeah.
where it reached its height. This one has not stopped yet. And this is what I love about Kendrick albums because like it's a puzzle. And it's a subconscious puzzle, but it's also one that if you want to dig deeper, you can dig deeper. But
Yeah.
the subconscious puzzle of this, of just listening to it again and like getting used to the instrumentals and the flow of it, and then it just pops off. Like it reveals itself to you, and it just pops off, and it doesn't stop. Songs that I was like kind of feeling in the first reaction, or like wasn't big on, like turned out to be some of my favorites. But it's such a beast of a record.
Yes.
But at least some songs, a lot of songs are easy listening. Like once you get the vibe of
Yeah.
them, like I love the smooth cuts, but disc 2 gets rough to listen to.
Oh yeah. Especially towards the end.
Yeah, Auntie Diaries and Mother I Sober are incredibly difficult to listen to. We Cry Together as well is incredibly difficult to listen to, and that's not something that fades after first listening.
No.
So it's not like a harsh track where like you gets a guttural reaction out of you the first time. It continues to happen, which is definitely like something that doesn't happen a lot. I feel like those tracks lose weight. Even Sing About Me has lost weight because I've heard of it so many times.
Yeah.
Where like the emotional density of it kind of wears off just from listening to it so much. But I don't know, these ones haven't worn off yet. It's still like a gut punch.
It's still a little early for that. Sing About Me's been out for
Yeah,
like 10
yeah.
years.
And I feel like that's still his best song.
It probably is.
Even though I think Mother I Sober comes close.
it's really good.
It is really good. Like,
Yeah.
but in my head, I thought this was going to come out in the footage more. I was scared to edit the footage because I'm like, I'm going to not like listening to myself in the past talking about this record after I've like, all of last night I was spent just like going through. I was watching other people listen to it. I was listening to it myself. I was trying to pace through it. And every listen you get something different. But then I was like, okay, when I edit this thing, I don't want to like, not like what I say and have to like edit a lot of things. But I think we did a good job. But during that reaction, I don't think it came out in words that I said. I thought I said it out loud, but I didn't. It was late.
Yeah.
I was stuck on Kendrick album analyzing mode because there's always this formula he follows. There's always a storyline with him playing a different character through a grand narrative, whether it's hidden or at the forefront, like Good Kid and T-Pab. Damn was hidden. But I was stuck in that. So I was trying to piece together things that weren't there in my head, and that was like taking away from it. But I feel like I get it more now because this album is about him literally. Like, there's no character involved. He embodies like Keem and Kodak, but that's them talking about themselves.
Yeah.
It's weird having him like literally not have a character he's playing. He's literally playing himself in his personal life and presenting it to us as his professional life, which I think is a gradual step that like needed to be taken. And I initially thought like the two discs were two separate like narratives. I don't think that's right either. I do think there's a lot of similarities between disc 1 and disc 2. Especially like the We Cry Together and Mother I Sober being the penultimate tracks of those, being the most potent tracks of those, and dealing with his relationship with women in his life. One being very toxic and a very toxic, like unfaithful relationship, and his other being the strong women in his life, like his wife, leaning on him to get therapy, and his mother, and all that. So like, there's a flip there definitely. But I think the whole album is like that therapy session. Like I kind of like thought about that in the first reaction, but it wasn't until like third or fourth where it's like this whole thing is just him battling himself.
Yeah.
Like the whole first part of the album basically is him in denial about like needing therapy. He's trying to hold on to this old thing where he would like embody the ego, and 95 is like his typical ego driven I am the savior type stuff, but he slowly unfurls. You get like father time, so he starts digging into his issues with his father. Infidelity on We Cry Together. It slowly starts breaking down and down and down until you get to the bottom half of the record where it's Savior, where he finally recognizes that he's not going to view himself as some kind of savior anymore because that puts an impossible expectation on him, and it's like ruining his mental state. And then you just get Auntie Diaries and Mr. Morale, and then Mother I Sober. Like Mother I Sober being the biggest breakdown, like the biggest ego death ever, and then just Mirror saying that he chose himself as like, I am me now. I can't do this still. I can't just keep creating this I know all. I am this spiritual leader through these records.
Yeah.
Like, this is just him. So I don't know. There's a narrative and it's really great, but like, wow.
Yeah. I think that's like one of the things that was the most worrying about T-Pab when I was first starting to get into it. Because, Mortal Man, it's that ending where he's comparing himself to Nelson Mandela and like kind of declaring himself a prophet for his people. And it's like, it's like, if he wants to accept that mantle, that's great. But like, that's like gonna seriously
Unbearable pressure.
that's the thing. And I think some of Damn is like the reaction to that, where it's like, I wanted to be this like, great figure for our community, and then like he opens it with DNA and blood.
Yeah.
And it's
Damn is his darkest album, definitely.
Yeah.
I think this is close to it, but I think Damn was like
It's
him facing himself and trying to break down things about himself.
yeah.
But this record, I feel like, is the continuation where he finally realizes that he can't do that unless he brings up all these things, and through that is the therapy sessions.
Yeah.
Where that all pours out.
I think that's like it's like the inverse to like, I don't know, like this album feels like similar I can think is like You, and like You is another like deeply personal track of his. But again, it is kind of removed that he is playing a character in TPAB. But this is
The whole
like,
thing's like a stage show, so it's like hard
yeah,
to like differentiate.
it's like what actually is happening here. Like he's dealing with Uncle Sam and you know the devil himself, and in this it's just like, I'm pretty sure, doesn't
There's
it
none of that.
start? It starts with like his wife being like, "You should go to therapy," and he's like,
Yeah.
yeah,
He starts on like this denial of it, and then just like rapid fire lists all these things that are like bothering him, but he's like shielding it from himself. And then it just starts revealing as the album goes until you get to like the depths of it. But it's really fantastic. I don't like ranking this kind of stuff early enough, but I think this is far better than Damn, if I'm being honest.
I don't know. I really love Damn's sound.
I do too. Like, I feel like, I don't know. I feel like
know.
everything about Damn is so good, but the sonics of a couple tracks just really like hold it down.
What are the songs that hold it back for you?
I feel like God doesn't need to exist, though, in the form that it does. I don't think he was digging into a more melodic sound, but it came off as like a little tacky.
Yeah.
I don't think like Ya is like the kind of laid back track that like it's cool, but like it doesn't reach that next level that everything else on the record does.
No. I like, yeah, the Ya in the Element. It's like you could have gotten rid of Ya, even though I do like Ya.
Yeah, or just replaced it with like a different sound. The song sounded too autopilot.
Yeah.
But I think we're morale but Damn in terms of storytelling and narrative is like pretty next level.
It's pretty crazy.
TPAP's very linear. Damn is incredibly complicated and like buried, but also just very important. But I feel like Morale has a better sonic palette to it after you get used to it. I don't know. It is really fantastic. It's crazy because like I felt like I enjoyed the record the first time, but I didn't get it, and now it's unveiling itself, and the Kendrick effect is happening, where it just keeps getting layers and layers, and it doesn't stop getting better and better. I'd be interested to see how people's opinions sway. I feel like this takes a while to digest. I know Fantano takes like a week or two every Kendrick album before he puts out the review. I hope he does that with this one as well.
He's probably going to give it a 7.
I hope not. He was really messing with it last night. He played the first half on stream.
Okay.
I was surprised how much he liked it on his first listen.
He
'Cause I
likes
felt
the
like I was
weirdo
very
stuff,
indifferent
though.
about a lot of it on first listen. Like I enjoyed it, but it's like, is this really that level?
Yeah.
And then eventually it becomes that. But yeah, this is all I could ask for, really. I feel like this met expectations, and it's still growing. But anything that's like this dense and sounds this good that I can just dig into is like, this is what I like. It's like, give me a puzzle, give me a mystery, get me in there. I want to know everything ins and out of this record.
Yes. I wish Cole Kushner the best of luck.
I really do, because I think he's gonna have a ball with this one, and I'm picking up on little things every time that are just solidifying the record more, and I'm like, because I didn't get a lot of lyrical stuff the first time because we didn't have Genius or anything.
Yeah.
I still haven't been looking at Genius because I want to like, there's some accomplishment figuring things out for yourself, and it's like it draws out the process a little more. It's more satisfying. And I feel like there isn't a solidified like yes to this album yet. It's still
Not
very open.
yet. I mean, it's only been a couple days. So
Yeah. It's just
know.
the cycle of music nowadays is like cut in half from what it was in 2017. And it was already getting bad in 2017.
Right.
But I think Auntie Diaries has definitely picked up media attention. We knew that was
It's
gonna
fairly controversial.
It is fairly controversial. I think a lot of the LGBT people I follow on Twitter too are very I want to say most gave positive reception to it, but like if you go in the comments of any tweet talking about it, there's always like a lot of people like against it.
Yeah, I mean, I think
But
that's fairly. I, I get it.
yeah, I understand it. Like, it's not my position to like come in and tell you that like, you know, I'm the last person that needs to tell anybody like what they can't get offended by, and like
Right.
that's not a word that like affects me personally. It doesn't have some kind of weight over
No.
me as an individual. It's still striking, and
It
it
like it
continues to be
struck me the
striking.
first time. I was
Yeah,
like,
it was
"Oh
visceral.
wow!" I like.
Yeah,
I guess for those who don't know, the song that we're talking about, in Anti Diaries, it details the people in his life who have, or in his family, who have like transitioned, or not even transitioned, just have been transgender. And in the song, he uses the F slur repeatedly.
yes,
But it's under the context of how he talked when he was a kid.
yeah, and I think people that are kind of like off about it, either one, I mean, if you are part of that community, there's obviously like, okay, if you get the sentiment of the song and everything and you're still like uncomfortable with it, like
That's
that's your
fine.
call.
Yeah.
I definitely understand, but I do think a lot of people that are kind of just like in the media circus didn't like get the point of the track,
No.
because Kendrick does this a lot where he embodies younger versions of himself,
Yeah.
and he was literally talking from that perspective throughout the track. The whole point of the song is like how everybody changes and perspectives can flip. So he goes from just like saying it casually, like highlighting how casual that used to be in elementary schools and middle schools, which still is. Like I grew up around that too. It's very casual, and hip hop did this as well. Up until like 2013, you could go to a lot
Yeah.
of songs, and it's just
Yeah.
openly in there.
Well, hip
Check out
hop
Ether
has
from
a
Nas.
history
Like,
of like,
yeah,
yeah,
like even Ether from Nas, like one of the best diss tracks of all time. Half of like the bars against Jay-Z on there are just straight homophobic. So he's tackling that, but like I think people got mad at the misgendering as well.
yeah,
But that also plays into the narrative of the song because like he'll switch back and forth between pronouns, but like by the end of the song, he's correctly gendering his uncle and his cousin. Like that's also just showing progression of it. I think art like
yeah,
this. I treat it as a movie. Like in movies, people portray things like this.
yeah. That's
This
what I
is
was gonna
not.
say.
Yeah.
Like some
Uh,
people are like, and I get it. Like I get this sentiment too, where like people were mad at Leonardo DiCaprio when Django came out for saying the N word, even though he was portraying a literal slave master. Like
right.
I get that, where it's like that word shouldn't be used at all by white people. And I get it, but I think context also matters, and I think, you know, Kendrick's intent is not to offend. If
No,
Dave
it's
Chappelle
really about him
said the
growing and like being supported. Yeah, and you have people
yeah,
like Dave Chappelle that are actively like tearing things down. I think that's the
right.
other thing is like, especially like trans people nowadays, like currently in this media circuit, are unfortunately being dehumanized and used as political talking points. Dave
Yes.
Chappelle's been literally in the act of dehumanizing them
Yes.
through his specials and stuff. These laws are literally trying to outlaw it in certain states and saying that they're groomers and all this kind of thing. And they're just trying to live their life. Like they still don't have proper health care or anything. So for the biggest hip hop artist to make a song that is pro trans and talking through his experience through personal family members in a pretty much mostly respectful way, and it's a very raw and visceral way, which ties into the album's theme of like him digging deep at like fear, like unfiltered raw emotions. Like this is how he saw it throughout his life. I think that is very, very good, because I think awareness is still a big thing that needs to be happening here.
Sure.
Just with the news and everything that's going on, trans people being used as political pawns is awful, and just the biggest hip hop artist making a song that's pro trans and like here's my perspective and how this changed. I think that is very important, and it is challenging. It's visceral. It's not easy listening, but I think it's very important. So I don't know. I really think it's fantastic, Craig.
I agree. I think this this sets like a good precedent where like you even compare that to like Drake last year, like the Lesbian Bar, where it's like you compare like these are two of the biggest hip hop artists, and Drake is like, menializing lesbianism and like treating it as it's just like this kind of jokey bar, and Kendrick is out here dedicating an entire track to trans people, and it's like, yeah, it's controversial. I get it, but like overall, I think the message is good, and it's
Yeah.
something that should be celebrated.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I think it's wrong to get held up on that one word. I don't think a lot of people are. I mean, if people are uncomfortable with it, obviously
It's
it's your thing. But yeah, I do think it is very important. But yeah, that was a really really good track. That was out of nowhere too. Like
Yes.
I was like, ugh. But I don't know. This record's insane. It's fantastic. I think it's going to continue to grow and open itself and just be like this very, very fantastic thing. It's so cool, like watching this in real time, viewing public opinion, listening for yourself, discovering things, watching other people that are like very into his music. Like we're unraveling a To Pimp a Butterfly in real time, which is very cool. I haven't had that experience. Damn was like more hidden and like mysterious. So everybody was talking about how good the songs sound, but like this is like one that challenged everybody.
Yeah.
It's cool
Yeah.
to see.
I mean, let's just hope he's not gone.
Yeah, I
Please,
don't know.
please stay.
No, that would be cool if he stayed.
I would
I
like
feel
it
like-
if he did.
Yeah, I feel like this is his Kanye entering decade number 2. Like this is the start of it. This is like the twisted fantasy where he starts off the decade with something like this and completely shifts his sound.
I mean, now he's gonna be on PG Lang.
Yeah,
This is his
this
last
felt like a
one.
very PG Lang album. This
It
not
did.
sound DDE at all. This is like
No.
it's like a melodic blue, but like through Kendrick. It's very different and wacky in this new brand of hip hop that I'm very excited to like see what both of them do because they're both like very very good.
Right. And who's the one that just got picked up by PG Lang? That's on here?
Tana Leone. He does have an album out that came out this year,
Oh,
a couple weeks ago actually. I haven't listened to it yet, but I think he's more R&B.
yeah. He used a lot of R&B people.
He did.
Like Sampha, isn't he?
Yeah, Sampha.
R&B.
Father Time's insane. Sampha always just makes tracks like infinitely better.
His voice is awesome.
It's so good.
Yeah. I'm tempted to check out his 2017 record. Should probably do
Yeah, I
that.
don't know if I've ever listened to like a solo record of his. I just know like all the features he's been on and like how good those songs are. But
Yeah, I
I,
don't
I
know.
think he is kind of due to drop an album.
I mean, yeah, 2017 was the last one.
Yeah.
His only one. He has one record, and it was 5 years ago.
Interesting.
Yeah,
Call it Frank Ocean.
pretty much. Hey, Frank Ocean, do this. Come out with something crazy.
Yeah, can we get Frank next?
Yeah.
I mean, I know I'm like biting off more than I can chew here, but like,
Yeah, quick, make your prediction. What date is Frank Ocean going to announce an album rollout? That way-
announce it or drop.
Announce.
Um,
Come on, you're a wizard. You have to.
I know I gotta
Tap
look at
in.
the calendar. I'm gonna say August 8th. Who's gonna announce it?
Okay.
The album's gonna get delayed, and it's gonna
Okay.
drop October 14th.
Okay. Well, you heard it here, folks.
If that happens, that's absolutely ridiculous.
I think you might need to start charging people for psychic readings.
Yeah,
At least being able to guess when things are going to come out.
that would be next level. If that happens, then there's truly something special inside of me.
Yeah, if it predicts, and then it actually does get delayed
Yeah,
to that date, that would be crazy.
because like things get announced on like Mondays, like more often than not. So I'm
Yeah.
like, okay, I'll choose a Monday for announcement date. Then
Okay.
it's like, I feel like it's gonna be a fall album because it's Frank
Could.
Ocean. It's
Could.
like I feel like it's gonna be an end of the year bang. So that wouldn't be like September. I feel like he's gonna like wait, but like the way that he's like been canceling his headlining festivals and pushing them back, it's like, you know, he'd probably do that with the record too. So then October.
Okay. Wait, he's been delaying stuff? What's going on
But
with
he
him?
keeps like getting like he keeps headlining festivals, but then like he backs out of them, and then
Oh.
they have to light someone else because yeah,
Oh, okay.
it could have been because of COVID thing, but I think it was kind of like Kendrick where he's like headlining things and then things got pushed back.
Oh. Well, I don't
I don't
know.
know. I would like Frank Ocean this year though, but this record's really great. This is all I wanted, so
Yeah.
I'm happy. I don't know where I'm ranking it anywhere else yet because it's going to take a couple weeks, but
I
just know it's
think
very high up there.
I think the Denzel Curry album is slightly better than this, though.
I do put this above Denzel Curry. I'm just wondering.
Wow.
Yeah,
I'm just kidding. I do like Denzel Curry.
Denzel's very good though.
There's some tracks that I don't really like.
There's something about Kendrick that just hits different,
Yeah.
and I always thought it was like a bias thing, throughout all of the hip hop community and through myself, where it's like, okay, I'm very biased like for Kendrick, but then
Yeah.
like you get an album that's challenging, and then it like has to naturally grow on you, and you're like, oh, okay, I'm not biased. It's
Well, he's just
next
good.
level. He's
Yeah.
he's just that good.
Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, check it out if you haven't.
Yeah. Oh, I guess
Somehow.
Logic's dropping an album soon.
Oh, awesome.
It's got 30 songs on it. Nobody's
What
listening.
the frick? 30 songs on a Logic album?
Nobody's listening to that.
Isn't this dude supposed to be retired?
You could not pay me to listen to some retired rapper's 30-track album. I'm
What
sorry.
the frick? Man,
I'm
I
sorry.
thought he was retired. He has like,
He was retired for like 6 months.
oh, okay.
I don't know why. He had I don't know what happened to him. There was a decline. I don't know what's happening. I
Bobby
feel like
Tarantino 3.
it's like he's a good producer and he knows how to make a song that sounds good, but his lyrics are so unbearable because he recycles the same thing over and over again. He's a rapper that loves to talk about like rapping.
Yeah.
Like he has no subject matter at all, which sucks because the songs sound decent usually, but he just doesn't know what to talk about. And if he does talk about something, it's like way in over his head and it just gets lost.
Yeah. Like the Suicide song.
Like the album that the Suicide song is on. Like he made this grand concept and he just like went way over his head in it.
Oh.
Got lost.
Most of the time he talks about how he's biracial.
Yes. It's because he doesn't talk about anything else.
Yeah. Did you know that?
Sometimes I forget, but he always reminds me. So
Oh. Well, that's very kind of
at
him.
least he's keeping it front of mind.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I feel like Logic's career post Suicide song is it's a big decline.
Yeah.
It was all fine and dandy and like chill before the Suicide song dropped, and I remember because I was like listening to Logic for like 2 years before that came out.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, this guy's like this rapper that I've been listening to just blew up. It has like the #1 song on the radio. I'm like, this is cool. I don't like the song, but this is really cool. And then his whole career just fell off. I don't know what happened.
That album has Ansel Elgort on it.
Yep.
Why?
And
Neil
I
deGrasse
think Morgan
Tyson.
Freeman's on there too. Oh yeah, Neil deGrasse Tyson. That's who it is. He plays God.
Why did you
The
get?
scientist plays God.
Why? Yeah. Why did you get the least creationist person ever to play God? Well, actually,
It's a
that's
weird
not
album.
true. That was,
I was in denial with that album. I'm like, yeah, this is really good. I was just lying to myself.
wow. Yeah.
Sometimes you got to do that. Sometimes it hurts too bad to admit.
Yeah. That's how this new Kendrick album is. Just in a couple weeks, we're all gonna hate it.
If I turn around and start hating this thing, I don't know what's gonna happen. I went from like being so like mediocre on it, where I'm like, ooh, I don't want to be that guy, but it's like it's not hitting the same, and then
Yeah.
it just happened. Magic. It's just like, whoa, everything's clicking. What happened?
Yeah. I definitely need to listen to it some more.
Yeah, it's a treat.
I'm sure.
But I think that's everything this week. I feel like there's stuff coming, but honestly, I kind of like as soon as Kendrick had that release date, I kind of forgot about every other music thing.
Yeah.
This was kind of like the big thing. So I think there's what else is coming? Stuff got announced. We got Black Midi coming.
Yeah, we got Post coming in like a couple
Post's
weeks.
coming in June 3rd.
Yeah. That's the only thing I know about.
Yeah, there's probably more, but I forgot it. So that means it's not important. I read about it like a week and a half ago, and then just forgot.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm kind of good on music for the year now. I just need Frank Ocean. But that'll be on October 14th.
That will be on October 14th for sure.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we'll see what happens next week. I have Kenobi's coming out in a couple weeks on the 27th, and then Post on the 3rd. So then the couple weeks after this next week's podcast are going to be, they have stuff in them for sure. I don't know what's going to happen next week. We might not have anything. I might just talk about Doctor Strange again.
Just recycle this podcast.
Yep. But I don't know. Shalom.